on your side. You're watching News 19 at noon.
Here is a live look at Lake Murray today. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday for News 19 at noon. I'm Darcy Strickland. We start things off today with a look at your Wednesday weather. For more on that, we're going to hand things over to meteorologist Efren Avante. Efren.
Well, Darcy, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, Midlands. Right now, the only lone shower we had in Lower Richland County has since faded away. And for the live shot in Lake Murray, a lot of cloud coverage is out there. It is very warm, but horribly muggy. Right now at the airport, 85 degrees under overcast skies. Dew point is at 75. It feels more like 93 degrees. We still will have a chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll only reach a high of 91 degrees and partly to mostly cloudy overnight tonight. A low of 73 tomorrow. A lot of sunshine, a high of 94 degrees, but a very slight chance for an afternoon storm. There's more storm chances on the way. I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes, Darcy.
Efren, thank you. A 65-year-old man in Edgefield County has been sentenced for sexual conduct with a minor. Officials say this man, Jerry Hurd, pled guilty to sexually assaulting a minor who is 6 years old. He has been sentenced to serve 25 years in prison. Now, this is not the first time he's been found guilty of sexual assault. He was charged with a similar crime in Alabama in 1990, but that was before the Public Sex Offenders Registry, so neighbors didn't know his past charges. Hurd has been taken to the South Carolina Department of Corrections to start his sentence. A South Carolina court has now ruled that same-sex couples now have the same rights as heterosexual couples. The state Supreme Court ruled this morning that some of the domestic violence statutes in our state laws were unconstitutional. The ruling came after a woman tried to get a protective order against her fiancé, who is also a woman. Ohio, California, and Massachusetts have also adopted similar laws recently. U.S. Customs and Border Protection have seized more than $120,000 worth of fake toys in a Charleston port. The shipment arrived in late June from China and it was headed to North Carolina. The toys were knockoffs from toys from Cartoon Network, Apple, and the companies that make Power Ranger toys. The shipment was carrying nearly 35,000 counterfeit toys. Crews in Sumter County are still working to repair a water main break this afternoon. It happened on Washington Street just near Hampton Avenue. There is no detour because the road is 4 lanes wide. According to Sumter County officials, there is no timetable on when the break will be fixed. Of course, we will continue to keep you updated on our website at WLTX.com. Today on Twitter, President Trump made an announcement saying he plans to ban transgender people from serving in the military. He said in a flurry of tweets this morning his plans for the move, saying he came to the decision after meeting with generals and military officials. He also said transgender people cannot serve, quote, in any capacity. This move comes just one day after the Senate voted to move forward with GOP health care bills. Military officials say in June that they said in June that there would be a 6-month delay on letting transgender people enlist. The Senate voted yesterday to begin debate on repealing and replacing Obamacare, but even with a 1-vote margin, that may have been the easy part. Now Republicans have to find a plan that has enough GOP support to pass with the majority vote. Seth Lemon has more from Capitol Hill.
We're now one step closer to liberating our citizens from this Obamacare nightmare.
President Trump praised the Senate for agreeing to begin debate to repeal and replace Obamacare, but the victory was short-lived.
The motion is not agreed to.
9 Republican senators joined their Democratic colleagues in rejecting the Senate leadership's plan, but the fight's not over. Senators can offer up unlimited amendments in an effort to narrow down a plan that's capable of getting the votes needed to pass.
I know members in both parties have health care ideas they'd like to offer. If you've got one, bring it to the floor.
The Senate is headed toward what's called a vote-a-rama. That's where amendments are piled up and voted on without any real debate.
That is a lot of bunk. We have had no hearings. We have had no amendments. We have had no bipartisan discussions, and we won't even be able to have debate on many amendments on one of the most major bills affecting us that affects tens of millions of people.
Next up, a vote on a straight repeal of Obamacare with no replacement. It's a move favored by conservatives, but enough moderate Republicans oppose the idea, making it unlikely to pass. Seth Lemon for CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The repeal is a revision of a bill passed in 2015, which every Republican senator except for Maine's Susan Collins voted for. Of course, they all knew that President Obama would veto the bill, meaning their vote had no consequences. And on the same day that the U.S. Senate voted to move forward with the GOP health care bill, the House voted to impose new sanctions on Russia, Iran, and North Korea. The vote passed with a vast majority of representatives in the GOP-controlled House. Only 3 representatives voted against the measure. Russian officials, including the nation's foreign minister, says that the move defies common sense. Russian President Vladimir Putin has not yet commented on the move. If you are in Lee County and searching for a job, we're on your side today. Later in August, there will be a job fair in Bishopville. It will be on August 9th and will run from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. And there will also be a time just for veterans from 9 until 9:30. News 19 is a sponsor, and last year there were more than 450 people there. And don't forget, we are a little more than a week away from this year's tax-free holiday weekend. It is happening Friday, August 4th through Sunday, August 6th. During that time, South Carolina shoppers can buy a number of back-to-school items without having to pay the 6% sales tax. Jewelry, cosmetics, eyewear, furniture, and items on layaway are not tax-free. The American Red Cross says they are in desperate need for blood and platelet donors. Anyone who donates from today through August 31st will be emailed a $5 Target e-gift card. They are looking for donors of all blood types. There are donation locations all across the area. To find out the one that's closest to you, contact the American Red Cross. And it's been almost 1 year since the last big flood ripped through the Midlands, damaging homes. But today, one family will be back in their newly repaired home. 68-year-old Carolyn Boykin of Nichols will be coming back to her home after being displaced for 9 months. Volunteer crews began fixing her home in May, and now she can move back. The whole town of Nichols will be welcoming her back with a homecoming celebration today. Today over at USC, Hollywood designer Alonzo Wilson will be at the introduction of a year-long exhibit. The exhibit, called Well Suited, will feature the costumes used in the HBO show Trim. The show is about the life of people in New Orleans 1 year after Hurricane Katrina. The exhibit will open on August 1st around 6:30 that evening. Wilson is originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, and has worked on other shows including Army Wives and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Today, the USC men's basketball team continues its 8K and 8 Days outreach tour. The events are being held as part of the team's community outreach program here in the Midlands. Today, the team will be hosting an event with Columbia's Parks and Recreation Department. This is happening at the volleyball courts on campus, and it's running from 5:30 until 7 this evening. The Carolina Panthers start their training camp today at Wofford College in Spartanburg. There will be several veterans suiting up, plus the arrival of some promising young rookies. Later today, we'll be bringing you the latest sights and sounds from Wofford, as News 19's sports reporter Joe Cook will be there. Still ahead today on News 19 at noon, it looks like we're in for another warm day, and we could be seeing more showers and thunderstorms. Efren has the details after the break.